What is up, my Pisces soul family? Welcome back, you guys. And of course, if you're new here, welcome into my channel. Um, be sure to turn on your notifications, hit that subscribe button, stay up to date with all of my, monthly collective readings and other offerings and things like that. So be sure to turn on those notifications. Now, you guys, this is Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is your July 2026 energy forecast. So, before I get into you guys' individual reading, I do want to talk a little bit about this incoming energy this July, because there is this sort of hero's journey kind of vibe to the energy this month, right? We kick off this number 7 month in Cancer season. Number 7 in traditional tarot is like the hermit. And so at the beginning of the month, there might be, some things coming up to the surface around like certain emotions and like family patterns and things like that, old stories that we've been carrying for a long time. All of that kind of coming up to the surface right now so that we can reflect on it more closely and process what needs to be processed so that we can glean the wisdom from our life experiences and um, come full circle with it later, right? Because when we get into the latter half of this month in Leo season, we also start to embody more of the number 8 universal energy of July. Even though July is a 7 month, because we are in a number 1 universal year, we also share July with that number 8 energy too, which in traditional tarot is the strength card. Okay. So when we kick off Leo season, that is where we start kind of looking at everything we've dissected in hermit mode at the beginning of the month, and we start asking ourselves, well, what now? What do we do with this? How can you embody it more fully? And, spirit kind of giving you the strength and the confidence to express that outwardly, um, to have it kind of become part of your medicine or like the wisdom teachings that you share with others, right? It is that completion of the hero's journey. So that's what I mean when I say there is that kind of, overarching energy to the month. Okay. Now, Pisces, your reading this month feels um like you're kind of breathing life back into yourself, you know? There might be some areas where you have um, either been feeling a little stagnant or you might just have been in survival mode for a little while, trying to make do with what you have. But you don't really have what you desire fully yet, you know? Um, this is kind of like spirit letting you know you're not stuck, you know? You are stepping into a brand new chapter and um, it's going to be a powerful one, it's going to be something different maybe than what you had in mind. But a new beginning is opening up for you guys. So, as we go through your reading, I want you to kind of, in your heart, sit with um, the story that you've been telling yourself about what is possible for you and for your life. Um, and really ask yourself, is that still my truth? Does that still resonate? Um, so let's go ahead and get into it, Pisces. Your emotional frequency color this month is peach, number 19, saying inhale a breath of life. Okay. And peach definitely has kind of like for some reason I think of like peach cobbler comes to mind, like comfort foods, like comfort. So it definitely and look at the aromatherapy candle kind of stuff around it. It is soft. It's like warmth and nurturing kind of energy. Um, you guys, might have been, like I said, in survival mode, holding your breath for a long time. And this is that breath of fresh air, something is changing. A new cycle is beginning because with this 1 and 9, that reduces to a 10 and then a 1, just like the year that we're in. So you know, um, there is a fresh start that is, happening here too. It might be something in your life that maybe you're breathing life back into even, or just yourself, obviously, like your creativity or confidence. We do have that Leo energy. Um, just kind of a sense that you are allowed to want a sweeter life, um, than just kind of getting through the motions or just barely making it. Like I said, it's like a survival mode kind of energy. Um So, Pisces, this month you might really be coming back to yourselves after being in this last cycle where life might have been really heavy. Especially, what was it? We just had that whole transit with Uranus and Gemini. That's a whole 7-year cycle. And for some of us who were kind of impacted with that energy, it's been really heavy. It has been a survival mode kind of energy and really draining, so, for some of you, um, that might be shifting, things might be moving and changing, and you might be ready to begin something again, kind of really stepping back into life, um, taking a deep breath. And yeah, I don't know, Waiting to Exhale kind of comes to mind for some reason, that movie, but yeah. Okay, now the areas of impact for you guys, the first place this shows up is through this Master 44 number environment card. Okay. Now, um, it's this green color, so it's definitely connected to the heart. And 44, like I said, is a master number. It is sometimes the master healer, but it's also known as the master builder. Um, with this environment card, you know, your environment is so important, okay, because it shapes you in different ways. It either is helpful and supportive to you and your growth, um, and helps to support you, or it doesn't. It might be depleting, it might be draining, so um you guys are going to really kind of be reflecting on some of that, and also the beliefs that you hold in your heart, like I said, about what is possible for you in your life, how much energy you have available to create big foundational changes and things like that too, that green color connects to the heart chakra, which is your fourth chakra, right? So healing and growth, um like I was saying, about either it nourishes you or depletes you. That's what this is all about, is really kind of um looking at your surroundings this month, your home, your workspace, and your daily routine, and the people that you spend the most time with, right? Very Cancer type of energy. um Even your social media environment has a big effect on your energy, your mood, so like I said, pay close attention to this. Does your environment support the version of you that you're trying to grow into and what you're trying to build for yourself? Or does it continuously pull you back into those old fear patterns or familial conditioning and things like that too, the old you. So, changing your environment in some way, even if it's really small, like moving stuff around or organizing, um, throwing out old stuff that you don't want anymore, just kind of like cleansing and clearing your space, um, moving your body more and things like that can all be really helpful for you in trying to build a healthier foundation for yourself. Okay. Then we have abundance in this pink color, card 88. Again, another master number, right? And 8 is that latter half of the month energy, like I said, that universal energy. 88 carries like a lot of power around your money, your resources, your personal success, receiving and creating something real and tangible, something sustainable for yourself, right? Um, Abundance is not just about like money and resources. That's just kind of how the 8 connects to, but this is also your high heart chakra. So, this can be connected to um your self-worth, your ability to receive, um, especially for some of you, like I said, if you've been in survival mode for a long time, it could be something tied to how you receive, like certain limitations around that, where I don't know, maybe you money goes as fast as it comes to you, right? Like maybe it's struggling to hold it for some of you. Some of you, it might be struggling to receive altogether. But whatever it is, there is a shift here. There is a part of you that is ready to change, is ready to receive more. But still, there is a part of you that's, that old part of you that is still identifies or resonates with like lack and struggle and having to um earn everything the hard way. You know what I mean? For some of you, it's gonna um spirit's really asking you to kind of take notice of that. Where are you unconsciously blocking your own blessings? You know what I mean? Especially if something new, some type of path or something is calling to you and you run from it or ignore it because it doesn't feel possible. So we're going to be taking a look at that this month. Now, we also have financial discipline, card 48 in pink and green. And I really love how this this card combines these exact two colors. Like, watch, let me just show you this. 44 and 88 in pink and green, and then this one combines them both, 4 and 8 in pink and green. Okay. So it kind of comes it comes like all together. Um so, green being your heart, being healing and growth, your environment, what you're building for yourself. And then the pink being the self-worth and the love and receiving and all that stuff that I just said. So financial discipline, I feel like is showing how money and abundance and all of that is directly connected to how you care for yourself, how you see what is possible for you in your life, choices that you make based on those beliefs, part of your foundation. So, 48 reduces to a 12, which then reduces to a 3. So, this can evolve communication, um, creativity, and um, creative expression. It might be conversations about money or work, resources, um, what you need to feel stable and secure within your life. Um, Now, I know this speaks of discipline, um, but I don't think that this is like, about frivolous spending or any of that for some of you, like really being restrictive with every dollar that you make. But I just think this is more so about being intentional. Um, where is your money going? What are you investing in? And what might you be able to cut back on too, Um, and not even just that, but like, where does money make you operate from a space of fear? You know what I mean? Like, are you afraid to invest in yourself on certain things because you're afraid to spend money, right? Some of that can kind of come up for some of you this month. Either way, I do feel like this is about a shift in your relationship with money, where it might be a little bit less stressful on you. Um, Instead, you kind of learn how to work with it more consciously. Okay. Um, so yeah, something big, some kind of big thing happening here. Now, getting into the deeper story behind this, you have intuition and manifestation. Also got taking steps, transformation, and victim mentality. So yes, we can see what kind of transformation is happening beneath the surface. So intuition is a number 3 spirit card. So um you guys are receiving like guidance of some kind, intuitive guidance and little nudges and things like that that are kind of pointing you towards something. Okay? So whatever it is you're trying to manifest for yourself, whether that is some type of new path or opportunity kind of thing, or a job, a relationship, um, or whatever. Like I said, even just a higher version of yourself in your life, Um, you guys are getting guidance around that. It is coming in. Um, but intuition is only one part of it. You have to take actionable steps in order for things to manifest. Okay. And I think that's where this taking steps, number 4 intention card, comes into play. You probably already know what you need to do and what needs to happen next. You might not see the whole path clearly, but you know how to take those inspired, actionable steps. Okay. There's at least one thing I'm sure that you could do right now to step towards that goal. Okay. And spirit is asking you to take those steps, do that thing. Um, and that can look a lot of different ways. It might be something as simple as making a phone call or filling out an application or something, um, or even just having a conversation or taking a class. Um, Something maybe that you have put off a few times, maybe it's like what you need to do, but you just like hesitate to do it. I know those of us who struggle with like ADD, ADHD, we can kind of struggle with that executive function, so what is it that you keep putting off for whatever reason? Take a look at that, because 4 again is about your foundation. So this is building a new life by taking one actionable step at a time when you feel that inspired action. Okay. And then we have transformation as your cycle card, and it's a number 5. So 5 is big change and transformation. So, you are transforming. You're not meant to stay the same. Things are shifting, and something might even be shifting in how you see yourself, or like I said earlier, how you see what is possible for your own life. you know? So you guys might be outgrowing an old identity of some kind, or even the old patterns and things that I mentioned, you know, might even be your relationship with money or beliefs around money and what you're, you know, capable of. And then we have this number seven consciousness card, victim mentality. Okay. And that may very well be what you are transforming to. That could be part of that, you know. Um, victim mentality is not meant to shame you any kind of way. Um, Anything that has been difficult in your life, um you know none of that was your fault. It's just something that you went through, and those hardships, um you experienced those things. You felt them, they shaped you, but um you are now kind of being given an opportunity to look at that and ask yourself, okay, do I want to keep operating from that same space? Is this my truth? Do I want to keep, is that the story that I want to keep telling about my life? Like, am I a victim, you know? Um like you don't need to keep this cord. This cord is preventing you from connecting fully with your own power. Okay. That whole story about like nothing ever works out for me, or I'm not good enough or whatever it is. You got to struggle harder than everybody else, or life is harder for you than everybody else, like, oh yeah, I really want this, but that's not for me. That'll never happen. That only happens to other people. Those kinds of stories, you know, um, yeah, maybe it looked like that before. When we constantly believe something, we're going to be shown an illusion of that thing as if it were the truth. Okay. And maybe it felt like that during the harder parts of your life. You know, that serves you in some way, shape, or form sometimes. But now, Spirit is asking you, is that serving you? Do you want to keep telling this story? Okay. Because something else is possible for you, and you're being shown a different path, a different way of doing things. Your intuition is guiding you through this. You're being led and supported through a big transformation, and there is definitely abundance that is trying to come through to you. But you got to quit giving your power away to that old story. Okay, because that's not you anymore. So pay attention to your space and your routine this month, your money this month. Um, and see how they connect um with what you're trying to build, and with those old stories and things that's coming up, Um, you're cleansing and clearing and solidifying your foundation, so that where you build from this point is built on more solid ground in a higher version of yourself. Okay. So keep following those little nudges and those little actionable steps when you feel called and inspired. And really follow those intuitive nudges. Don't just keep like asking for signs. And then when your intuition comes in, you're like, oh, that feels scary. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Those intuitive hits are guiding you to growth. Growth isn't always comfortable. We're being pulled and stretched to step out of that comfort zone. And, that's never a comfortable feeling. You know what I mean? So just really pay attention. If you catch yourself kind of slipping into that old story about why something just can't work for you or isn't meant for you or whatever, I want you to sit with it and really ask yourself, is that your current truth, Or is that just something you learned, an inherited pattern or some kind, or something that you learned after experiencing trauma of some kind, Shows up differently for everyone, but that's what we're kind of looking at this month, you guys. Okay, now your spiritual support coming in this month. First, you've got Lord Shiva with transcendence. Okay, and he's telling you to rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given, dance with the universe. So, Steps are being given. You don't have to have it all figured out right now, but you are being shown every step and you are being asked to keep honoring it. Keep taking, like I said, one aligned action at a time when you see it, you know. Just honor that next step that's in front of you when you see it. Okay, that's how we dance with life. Then we have Lady Portia with Divine Order. And she says, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. Okay. So, um, do what you feel is right is like honoring your own moral compass, your own inner knowing. You know, you might be in a situation of some kind, you know, for some of you, there might be a situation this month of some kind where, you know, everybody seems to kind of have an opinion about what you should do or, you know, whatever. But this is about you making the choice that allows you to respect yourself and honor your heart and what feels right to you, regardless of what anybody else thinks. Okay. That's the lesson, to honor yourself and your heart. And next, we have the Holy Spirit saying, expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. So yeah, expect miracles, new emotional beginnings and peace and all the good things. You've got abundance here, you know, so there's a lot of prosperity and peace and all the things that are trying to come to you, which can very much feel like a miracle when you've been in survival mode for so long, right? It don't mean spirit's just gonna like drop it out of the sky. I mean, you do have to take those practical, you know, actionable steps and put in the, you know, the energy and the time and whatever. But it also does not mean that you have to struggle for it either. You know, you deserve it simply because you are, and spirit wants to give it to you because you desire it. So, you know, you are allowed to take those actionable steps, and spirit can still deliver a miracle to you without you having to go overboard and to the point of depletion. You know what I mean? So, yeah, let's get your final guidance from spirit. All right, Pisces, dearest you, on Earth, humans learn about life by telling stories and creating new ones based on shared experiences. Eventually, after repeating a story often enough, it becomes your main story that you use to define yourself and the world. So, to get the answers you seek, you must get vulnerable and hear your story when you tell it and ask, why do you tell it? Is it really true? What else can be true? Can you see the truth that spirit is in all things? Do you see how other stories overlap and intertwine? Spirit loves stories, for they are like blueprints for co creation. So tell the one we know to be true about you, a story of courage, gratitude, and honesty. Tell an empowered story about well being, wisdom, and grace. You will experience your world according to the story you tell about it. So make sure they are stories you are proud of. Your genuine, loving fan club. I like that. Um, so, you know, yeah, you guys really looking at your story, like I've said, you know, throughout this reading. Um, the story you keep telling yourself becomes the lens through which you see your whole life and what is possible for you. Okay. So spirit is asking you to reflect on that and ask if it's still true. And if not, tell a truer story. You're not powerless. Okay. You are learning, you are healing, you're growing, but you're not powerless. Okay. So tell a story where abundance is something that you get to claim. It is something that is possible for you, not just other people, you know? Um, and remember that your environment is important to your foundation. It either needs to, help you or it's depleting you, but you really should kind of take a look at that and see what is serving you and what isn't, and let go and release what is not working anymore. Okay. um so you guys are really kind of being asked to yeah, build a different life, a life that is um a life that reflects the person you're becoming, not what you've been surviving for so long. Okay. So keep taking those steps when you feel that call, when you're guided, and start telling a story about your life that you are proud to tell, something that you actually want to live out. Okay. Because energy flows where your attention goes. So, what version of reality are you paying into? What are you buying into? Okay. Something to reflect on this month, you guys. All right, Pisces, I would love to hear how this landed for you. What resonated? Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you want to see how this impacts you directly this month, this energy impacts you guys directly, you could always book a personal reading with me. I'll be sure to put my booking information in the video description. um, and if you're not already following me on Facebook, check out the link in the video description and go ahead and follow me there, because I do weekly free card pulls for my collective, like for my community. I call it Tarot Tuesday. So I do this once a week. Um, and during that time, I also, in addition to the free card pulls, I also offer donation based mini readings, and I also offer like full recorded readings um at a discounted rate, and that's for people that want like the full reading experience but don't want to have to like book a live call, schedule, and do all the things, wait for availability. So I offer those options every Tuesday, just as a way of giving back to my community and giving you guys alternative ways to connect with me. So be sure to follow me over there. And all right, Pisces, you guys, I'm sending you so much love, many blessings, and all the positivity and joy and abundance this month. Take care, you guys. Peace.